Hi, I'm Karen Deloach.
And welcome to Love Letters. Love Letters are a collection of love stories so people get lost, get crazy in the name of love. Another week, another great, amazing letter that we will read.
That's right. Welcome aboard. And we would love for you to hear this letter from a listener named Beauty. Dear Daniel and Karen, I hope this message finds you both well and grounded in the love and purpose you so beautifully share with the world. I am writing to you with a sincere and open heart as I look ahead to 2026 with hope and intention. Your conversations on love letters have consistently offered wisdom, compassion, and clarity in a world that often feels rushed and uncertain. As I stand at a personal crossroads, I felt drawn to seek your guidance. Your voices represent steadiness and truth in matters of the heart. As the new year approaches, I find myself reflecting deeply on what true love really means in this modern age. The noise of expectations, timelines, and surface level connections affect deeply how we can feel so overwhelmed. I want to pursue love that is rooted in authenticity, respect, and deep love and faith, also with emotional maturity. I'm not merely seeking companionship, but a partnership built on shared values and mutual growth. Your perspectives have helped me understand that love is as much about becoming as it is about finding. Very good sentence. One of my greatest questions is how to prepare myself internally for true love before it even arrives. How does one balance patience with intentional action in the journey toward a meaningful relationship? I wonder how to discern between fleeting attraction and something deeper and enduring. In a world driven by convenience and instant gratification, I long to cultivate discernment and emotional wisdom. Your guidance on this inner preparation would mean a great deal to me. I am also curious about how to remain hopeful without becoming discouraged by past disappointments. Many of us carry experiences that shape our fears as much as our hopes. Learning how to heal without becoming guarded is a challenge I continue to face. Your conversations often speak about vulnerability as strength, not weakness. I would love to hear your thoughts on how to keep an open heart while honoring personal boundaries. Faith and purpose are central to my life, and I believe true love should align with both. How do we recognize when love supports our calling rather than distracts from it? I admire how you speak about love as a partnership that amplifies purpose rather than competes with it. This alignment is something I deeply desire for the coming year. Your insight into faith centered love would be invaluable. As 2026 approaches, I want to enter it clarity, courage, and grace. I hope to let go of fear, comparison, and impatience that can quietly sabotage the journey. Instead, I want to walk forward with trust in timing and openness to growth. Your guidance has often reminded listeners that love is not found by force, but by readiness. I hope to embody that readiness in the year ahead. Thank you both for creating a space where honest questions about love are welcomed and honored. Your work has touched many lives, including mine, in ways that are both gentle and profound. I'm grateful for any wisdom you're willing to share, whether spoken on air or carried quietly in reflection. May the love you model continue to inspire those of us still searching. With gratitude and hope, I look forward to the lessons 2026 may bring. Sincerely, Beauty.
Beauty, beauty, beauty. Wow, thank you for that amazing letter of yours. Something empowering, something that we need to explore. Right, Miss Karen?
Yes. Yeah, beauty. You've asked a lot of questions, and you seem to be someone that wants to delve deeply into life, and you're not looking for a superficial relationship. And for that, Daniel and I both agree that this is something worth, number one, waiting for, and something worth praying by faith, agreeing for, because that is what God wants for 99% of us, if not more than that. We're called to be in families and to create relationships that create families. And so we believe that it is God's will, beauty, for your faith to be honored by being matched with a faith filled man that can honor and bless the same commitment to grow together in faith. So what do you think about that, Daniel?
Yes, beauty or Miss Beauty. True love begins not with searching outward, but with grounding inward. Before seeking a partner, is it essential to understand who you are, what you value, and what you are willing to grow into? Love is not a meant to complete what is missing, but complement what is already being built. When you know your identity, love becomes a choice rather than a rescue or rescue. This foundation protects you from settling for less than alignment. Settling for less. Mm.
Wow, I might have mentioned this before, but I've been married before. I have a long marriage this time, and the first marriage. My joke is that I found my first husband in a bar, and I found my second husband in church, and I
Mhm.
recommend the second way better.
For
It's
sure.
I was working there. I
Mhm.
anyway, the point I'm making is that, where you go to find love
Yes.
is important too. And, if you're committed to a church body and to growing in faith, and it does take, committing to other believers who can pray with you and for you. And you might meet people there that either know someone or are someone that can make a life partner. So as I was a single mom going through divorce in a new church, I became friends with a group of people, and those group of people really helped me get through the grief and sorrow. You mentioned, beauty, that you've had past disappointments, and being left with two little children. I had deep broken heart and disappointment, and I was looking and seeking God for the healing that I needed without really seeking to have him get married again. I was just trying to get over being so hurt, and I found that being in church with other people that are also, seekers of God first. Your seeking has to be first and foremost of the lover of your soul, the bridegroom, Jesus Christ, because he is the one who will put you with the right partner. Don't you agree, Daniel?
Yes, definitely. Ask for signs. Ask God first. Miss Beauty, patience is not a delay in love arrival. It's often love's preparation. So, patience is virtue, as they said. Many people rush into relationship out of fear or being alone. I don't want to be a nun, as they said. but but many people rush into something else that only to discover they are lonelier within them. Learning to become content in your own presence cultivates emotional stability. This stability attracts healthy connection rather than emotional dependency. Love that lasts is rarely lasts and rush.
And it's rare. I mean, what
Mm,
what Daniel is describing is something, yes, we seek, but it is not something often found. I know I had emotional dependency issues, and the Lord told me it was love in darkness. It was selfish and needy, and I was guilty of it with my first marriage. Wasn't all his fault. Part of it was my fault because I didn't have Jesus Christ on the throne of my heart where he needed to be. I had placed my marital relationship there, and that is not God. It has to be God first. And as you grow in faith, as you grow in your relationship and your knowledge of the Lord, and he becomes more and more important to you, you know that he's going to only pair you with the right person. He is never going to tease us. He doesn't make us wait on for any other reason than the right place and time. Now, when I met my husband in church, we were just friends for 3.5 years.
Three
Even
and a half.
and I was going through a divorce, I was getting healing, he was going through a lot of healing in his life from things in his past, and as a result, we were support for each other as friends, and I tell you, I really recommend friendship as a great foundation for a deeper relationship, and the Lord's the one that told me he was my husband. I didn't know, I mean, he pretty much just gave me signs. Daniel just talked about asking the Lord for signs, and he gave me a sign that this man was somebody that he wanted me to marry. And he didn't even know it yet. I just said, "Okay, Lord, you're going to have to tell him. I'm not telling him." And it took another 9 months before the Lord told my husband that he was going to marry me, and that's 34 years ago. So when God does it, he does it right, and that doesn't mean
Yeah.
everything's been hunky dory or wonderful. It just means God was in the middle of it. He only has good purposes and plans for us. So, beauty, as you base this part of your life in the hands of the Lord by faith, trusting that He's got a very good plan for you. Meanwhile, let Him be the bridegroom of your heart.
A bridegroom. What an excellent, empowering motivation, Miss Karen. Discernment is one of the most underrated virtues in modern relationships, Miss Beauty. Attraction can be instant, but character is revealed over time. Pay attention to consistency rather than intensity and actions rather than words. True love demonstrates itself quietly through reliability, respect, and accountability. Discernment helps you recognize substance over charm. Mm, I like that. Over charm.
Boy, we've all been suckered in by charm at some point in our life in some way, haven't we? You
Yes.
talk in your letter, Beauty, about inner preparation, and that's exactly what Daniel's talking about when he's talking about character and deeper than charm. It's about what a person's true heart, if they're leaned towards the Lord, then you're gonna have that in common. And that is totally what drew me to my husband. He was a man after God's heart. He was truly seeking, and he still is. I mean, it is something that has stood to tests of life and all the things that happen. And so, when you are looking at the Lord and filled with the faith and purpose that He gives us in life, I'm sure that He will comfort you with the comfort only the Holy Spirit Comforter can give you in the period of being matured and readied for that relationship that is to be your mate for life.
Yes. And Miss Beauty, healing is not something you complete before love arrives, but
Mm.
something you commit to while preparing for it. Unhealed wounds tend to shape expectations, fears, and reaction in relationships. Taking responsibility for your healing is an act of love toward your future partner. It prevents past pain from dictating present choices. Love thrives best where healing is welcome, not avoided.
That's powerful, Daniel. You know,
Mhm.
you talk in your letter about wanting healing and not being driven by fear, because that is one of the things that lingering grief and sorrow and shame have, is they allow that pain to open the door to fear. Fear of failure, fear of doing without, fear of not being enough, all of those fears that can torment us, and those are not of God, not one single one of them. And so if you have a circle of believer friends, you open up and allow them to pray with you and pray for you. Say, I need this off of me. This fear is trying to rule my choices instead of having faith help me rule my choices.
Boundaries are not walls to Miss Beauty. They guides for a healthy connection. They communicate self-respect and emotional clarity. When boundaries are honored, trust is built naturally. Love that disregards boundaries often disguise control as affection. Healthy loves feel safe, not confusing.
Mm, safety. And the other thing is, the Lord is about purity in relationships. And Daniel, we've talked about being obedient, and that is something that is really been torn apart in our culture here in America,
Yes.
at least, that purity is to be valued and to absolutely be protected and kept. And when you do find yourself drawn to someone that maybe is a potential partner, are they willing to also walk in purity with you as you move into obedience to God? Because is you want a partner that wants to walk with you that way and not as fighting you over that issue.
And Miss Beauty, faith, whether spiritual or deeply personal, provides an anchor when emotions fluctuate. Love aligned with faith encourages growth, humility, and purpose. It does not pull you away from your values, but reinforces them. When love is strengthened or it strengthens your convictions rather than compromises them, it becomes a source of peace. Purpose driven love endures seasons of uncertainty.
And relationships, just like anything else in life, they have their ups and downs. And if we have our expectations pinned on a perfect relationship, you're going to be very disappointed because that would take perfect people. And hello, we're not
You're not
perfect.
perfect.
Our mate wouldn't have a perfect partner either. And being able to be transparent and honest within our boundaries, that hey, I have weaknesses, and I don't have to try to put forward like on dates where, oh, I have to look perfect, talk perfect, be perfect. Well, then you're in the wrong date, because that is not the way to even begin a relationship. And that's why I recommend friendships, circles of friends that can do things, have fun together. And Bible studies are fun ways to do it, or just social gatherings, going to dinner together or making a dinner together, where you're not having under pressure to couple up, but that you can get to know each other, really find out the character of others, and even find out your own character. How comfortable are you in these circles of other believers? Because that is who you're going to be drawing your mate from. I mean, that's who the Lord is going to be using, is people that are also of faith.
Yes. And Miss Beauty, gratitude keeps love grounded. Stop complaining. And count your blessings. Love is everywhere. Appreciating small gesture nurture emotional closeness. When gratitude is practiced, entitlement fades. Love flourishes when it recognizes rather than assume. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into a meaningful ones.
Wow, that is so true. The great love chapter in First Corinthians 13 that talks about love. There's an unselfishness to love that is about giving, not taking. And I tell you what, I had never experienced that kind of love before this marriage. A man that had a heart after God and just wanted to love me with the love of God is something I'd never experienced before. And I promise you, a lot of people haven't. To have a man or a woman who's really heart to push towards giving and not taking, work at making yourself that kind of a lover, Beauty, and you will be amazed at the fruitfulness that will come from that.
Yes, and finally, Miss Beauty, trust that love is not something you chase endlessly, but something you align with intentionally. When you grow in clarity, healing, and purpose, love meets you where you're becoming. True love is not found through desperation, but through readiness. As 2026 approaches, let love be something you prepare for, not pursue blindly. Not to pursue. In doing so, you invite a love that is lasting, peaceful, and true.
That is so true. And getting someone, knowing someone who has a similar heart of faith as yours will be worth the wait and the preparation for.
Yes, and again, Miss Beauty, thank you for your letter, and I hope we give you the best of the best knowledge and wisdom. And Miss Karen and I will nourish and give you something to ponder this coming 2026. So, Miss Karen, would you like to plug in something?
Oh, yes. So thank you, Beauty, for your letter. And we just want to encourage you, listeners, please send us a letter, write to us, let us know what you're needing in your love relationships. We welcome those letters. And we also would like to let you know that we have another podcast together called Bible Verses 101. And we have picked verses that have meaning to us and that are extremely powerful and life changing. So join us for more love letters and for Bible Verses 101.
Yes, people, let's support our podcast. Let's support because for sure our aim is to empower all over people all over the world. And Miss Karen, thank you so much for your time.
God bless you, Daniel, and God bless you, listeners. Love always. Bye bye.
Modicon people, see you soon.